Hi, Christine. Hi, Diana. Hi, Colleen. I'm a few minutes early, just getting everything set up, chatting with you guys. Let's see if my live is going to pop up here, and there it is. And it's on Facebook. Yay! So, I've seen a few of you of your projects pop up from yesterday, day one, in the groups, and I am loving them. Love, love, love. Everybody found that pretty easy, I think. They're so super cute and so easy to do. Hey, Jenna. Jenna or Gina, I don't mean to mispronounce your name over on Facebook. Welcome. Hi, Louise. Yay, one of my admins are here. Marianne will be a little bit late, and Sue might catch the end. We don't know. She's on the West Coast, so she had a prior engagement. But she might pop in soon. If anybody has any questions, as always, don't forget to put them in caps so that I don't miss them. Usually one of the admins will help you, and if we need to go on screen, they'll let me know and we'll do that. But anytime you need help, don't hesitate to ask. I'm excited about this one today. Let me play the intro, guys, and we are going to go ahead and get started. I might have to tag. I don't know if it's going to let me tag Kathy and Tina. They haven't been getting their notifications. There's Kathy's. It let me tag her. And let's see. It's not letting me tag her. So, Louise, if you don't mind, if you could tag Tina for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Hi, Irma. All right, let's get started, guys.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to our December members. I saw a couple of you pop up in there. Hi, Marianne. And say it was your birthday, so happy birthday to you guys. This is our December calendar, and we are going to be going live for the next 11 days, well, 10 more days after today. And on the 15th, we will be drawing for our AutoPress giveaway. On the 8th, we will be drawing for our December $100 coupon giveaway. So make sure that you are following those. There's a QR code. These are listed in the pinned featured post in the Facebook groups and on craftingwithapril.co on the Cricut giveaway tab. These have nothing to do with the 12 days of making Cricut campaign. These are separate. So right now you have 3 giveaways going on. You have the Cricut campaign, 12 days of making, the Cricut Crafter's Choice giveaway for the December 8th coupon code, and you have one for the AutoPress. So make sure that you are doing that. You've got 5 more days to enter on the Crafter's Choice, and I don't know, 12 more days on the AutoPress. So make sure you're getting those done. Don't forget to click on the links down below, those Cricut links down below, one for Canada, one for the USA shoppers. If you use my links, I earn a small commission, and it helps support the channel and the group. Greatly appreciate you guys doing that. If you don't use those links, then I don't get that small commission. So make sure that you're taking the time to click those links for me, please. And let's see. Make sure you put the group code Cuties in there. Now, Cricut has upped that discount for the group code to kick in to $100. It used to be $50, but now it's $100, and it has to be eligible items. Mystery boxes that are access exclusive do not count. Digital items do not count. Anything that plugs in does not count. And access exclusives, and that access exclusives tabs don't count. And I say that they don't count, but they do count, but that discount has already been taken off of there for those. And it does, that's why it doesn't kick in again. But anything in the normal shopping areas should reflect. Put the group code in your cart and just let it sit there. When it's eligible, it'll automatically kick in. It'll say applied or not applied, so that you will know. Hi, Tina, you made it. And let's see. This is day 2 of the 12 days of making. And now, guys, when you do these projects, you can enter, if you do one a day, or you can do them all in one day. You have until the 19th to do them. This is Cricut's thing. You don't have to make everything that we make. You can make your own images as long as you stick to the theme, okay? As long as you stick to the theme. So from the home page, as Louise told me yesterday, because I clicked on a couple of those, like this one, and I scrolled down the ribbon, and I totally missed it yesterday. And then she said it's on the holiday, which of course is going to be the one that you don't click, right? So thank you, Louise, for pointing that out to us. If you click the holiday, it's going to show you the 12 days. But it's only going, you can see I can click on day 3, nothing is going to happen. But day 2. Now, these are great, fantastic cards. But remember yesterday I told you guys that we were going to make what they did. And then today, because I want to show that you can be diverse and you can do different stuff. It doesn't have to be the project that they laid out. But you do have to stick to the theme, okay? And the theme is right here. Make a holiday card. Any card, any style. You can use these free card types or design your own. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to design our own. Now, you can go in here and you can make these if you want, or you can follow along with me and make the ones that I'm making today, because I want to do different holiday cards, because I have been playing around with these and making them and wanted to share them with you guys. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if you're going to make these, all you got to do is edit a copy, send them over, or just hit make it. However you want to do it. There are 3 cards in there, and they're all super cute. Okay? So, hi, Demps. And a lot of fun. Now, that being said, I have the link. I put the link into the description down below. And if you're on Facebook, you should be able to see that link for my project tutorial. Or the project that I set up. If you are on mobile, it is not going to open because my workaround no longer works. Marianne let me know that today, and thank you for that, Marianne. I did my print and cut prior to doing the thing today, because I was trying to pick my papers so you guys didn't have to watch me pick papers for an hour or an hour and a half, because sometimes I'm slow at it. So I did my print and cut so I could match up my colors on my card. And I used a pattern fill. To my knowledge, we used to be able to just take that pattern fill out and put in another piece, and it would erase it. And then people on mobile could open it. Not anymore. Or she said it's been that way for some time, Marianne. I didn't know it was broken, and I have been doing it the wrong way and you guys haven't been able to open it and nobody let me know. Hi, Anita. So I apologize if you find a file of mine that says no print and cut or something like that, or no pattern fill, and it won't open, let me know and I will redesign a fresh one so that you guys can use it. So that's all I can do to correct it. So this one, but since we're doing cards today, we're going to go over it so that you can create your own file and it won't have that pattern in there. But if you're on a computer or a laptop, this will open absolutely beautifully, no problem. So we're just going to customize. If you have my link, and I'm just going to give you a little screenshot here of what I used. So you can grab those images or grab your own, and I will be giving the images and all of that out. And so that you can add them to your file if you are doing your own creation. If you're on a laptop or computer and you want to change this one up, you can feel free to do that. So let's go ahead and go in here. This piece right here is the one that is the culprit, but I just wanted to show you guys how I designed my cards. So the first thing that you're going to do is get a shape, get your square, and decide what size you want your card. Now I made these A2, which would be 4 1/4 wide, with the book open. And so I need to double that and make it 8 1/2. And then it's 5.5 tall. So I need to do that and then lock it. Now that is my base. I'm just going to change that to white, and we're going to change our canvas color so that you guys can see our images. There we go. So here is the card base. You also need a score line in a card base. And the height of my card is 5 1/2, so I'm going to make that 5 1/2 as well. Right here on your sizing. You're going to select them both, align center, and then you're just going to attach it. Now I'm just going to come up here and right here in my layers panel, select a square and duplicate it. And then I change that to the 4.25. Okay, so that tells you what size that panel is on the right. Okay, and you'll need that later, so I'm just going to duplicate it again. And then I wanted to have a gold panel right here. So you're just going to size that down and make a gold panel. And let's go ahead and change the color. I'm just going to grab my colors because my colors are already in there. You can pick whatever color you want yours to be. And I wanted this to have a very small border against this white base. So I only took it down, it's supposed to be 4.25. Anyway, I took it down to 1/8 of an inch. So it's 4.125. And then I took 1/8 of an inch off of my height so that it would be even all the way around, making that 5.375. 1/8 of an inch is 125, so times 3 would be 375. And then that gives me just that small little border, which is all I wanted. Then I duplicated that again because I'm going to do another panel, and I'm going to do it in red. And I wanted a little bit more border on that. So I took off 1/4 inch off of each one. So that would make this one 3.875 and this one 5.125. And that is going to be your basic base. And then you can just duplicate it from there. You're still going to need this. You can just duplicate that from there. If you're doing 2 cards in one like I did here. And we're just going to change up the size of the second panel and add a third panel. That's all that we did there. So I'm not going to walk you through all of those, but that's what I did. Now I'm just going to make this blue so you guys can see it. So here are my panels for the front of my card, and we'll get to the pretties here in a minute. We're just making our base. Whenever I put a sentiment in a card, now I have this one set to foil, and it should be on medium, it is, but I'm just going to duplicate that. And let's say I want to put, I want to put that sentiment on that card. So I can put it there and I can guess all day long if I've got it, because here's my fold. I'm not going to look at this side of my card. If I want that to be centered horizontally and I hit a line, it's going to go here. That's not the true center of the back of the card. And not really sure. That looks pretty good, but it could be off a little bit. And the way that I fix that is, of course, you want to bring this to the top, always, if it's behind your panel, is I just bring this panel in, which is the size of my card, 4.25, I hit that, by 5.5, okay? And I'm bringing it down on that base, below the top and below the right, or off to the left of the right edge. I'm just going to select the two of them. I'm going to hit my align, and we're going to align it to the top, and then we're going to align it to the right. And in case you're wondering why I do it that way, if I put this here and I align it to the right, the bottom moves. Did you see that? Instead of this moving. So if you have other things positioned, they're going to be off. So always, whenever you're doing your alignment tool, don't make your bottom piece align, make your top piece align. And so in order to do that, if I know I'm going to go to the right and to the top, I want to leave a space on the right and a space on the top. And that is going, didn't want to do that. And that is going to allow you to move the top piece or the top panel into position rather than moving the bottom piece and getting everything else in your layout skewed up. Okay, so we're just going to do that again. Align right, align top, making that move. And then I'm clicking off of it. I'm going to click my sentiment. I'm going to click that panel there, and we're going to align, center it horizontally. And now I know that my sentiment is aligned, after I move that out, to the center of my back piece. So I know that it is in position. Now, if you want it total center, you're just going to, I like mine to be up a little bit so that I can have signature area. But if you want yours total center, you're going to select it, select that, align, center. And now you know it's very center of the back of your card. So that's just a tip. Yes, Diana, thank you. I caught that. I did make it 435. It was supposed to be 4.125. So that is how I do my alignments for my sentiments on all of my cards. Okay, because even though this has this little kick out right here, this is true center horizontally. Okay. Hey, creative. So super easy and simple to do your alignment and set up your bases. All right, on this piece, all I did was get this. Let's see. Let's get our image info. This is the Santa Claus, hashtag M3EC2155B. And I'm going to click on that so you guys can see it. And you can see he looks very different here. Okay, I'm just going to bring him in. He looks a whole lot different than what I've got. All I did here, guys, was change the base to white. And then I selected in my layers panel all of the writing. Now you can do this in watercolor pens, however you want to do it. I plan to foil mine. So I did change it from a pen in the operation type to foil. And I'm going to do that in a bold foil. And it comes in, the default is gold. You can change the color to whatever you're going to be using. And I'm going to be using red foil on that. And then I simply didn't like the way that he was not looking to the inside of the card, but if you like him that way, that's fine and good. All I did was, at that point, was flip him horizontally to get him to that position. And then you're just going to size him up the way that you want to get it sized, whatever size you feel comfortable with on your card. Now, that being said, you notice these little things in the background here. The smaller you get, the more that's going to fill in depending on which tip you use, and I'm fine with that. If you don't want to do that, you might want to go with the medium or the fine tip. Okay? I also duplicated this, but I'm not yet. I came in and I hid the Santa, hid all the Santa Claus, and just kept that, and I hid the back panel. And then I changed those to gold. So let's grab it right there. And I changed that to a gold foiling. And you guessed it, I sized it down, duplicated it, and attached it to my background. I did duplicate it, and it was just a little bit too much in excess for me. So I went into my contour, and I took out parts that I didn't want to use. I just hid them in that layers panel, so you can get it sized up over your panel, and then just take out the pieces that you don't want to use so that you can get them in there. I also like to flip mine vertically and kind of wiggle it in there. I don't know how I exactly laid it out, but you get the gist of how I did it, okay? There are two of them in there. I can detach and show them to you. Doesn't want to let me grab it. There we go. So you can see here, there's the other one. So I have one there and one up here, and I just played around and got them in there where I wanted them. Okay, so super easy to do. I'm going to undo this because I don't want to save any of this, of course. And then I attached it. I also went in and got my font, and I used the BFC flannel font, I believe, on this one. Yes, and you can see right here, I've got my image info with it selected in the layers panel, and it's grayed out, but it shows me that it's the BFC flannel shirt font. And I just typed "He Sees You When You're Sleeping," and I set that to foil on a medium foil with silver to put it on the front. Hi, Dolores. So you can do a lot with contour and changing it up, because those pieces, it was just this one image, and I used it in two different ways on the front panel of this card. And then the wish you a Merry Christmas, if I could get untongue-tied here. Get me the base here. I hid the base, but I left it in there in case you guys wanted it. It's right there. It has a base piece. You'll have to take it off of foil, of course. But that is image M3C88E 8B5. 8B5. And again, it looks very different because it's writing, and I changed it to foil, and I just hid this back layer. But you can do that. You can change it to foil, leave it on pen, totally what you want to do, and just size it up the size that you want it to be in the card. That's all there was to the first card, making it. The envelope is the same. I used M4 2C B3, and you can find that right there. It's an access image, and I brought it into Designspace, and I'm going to show you how to size an envelope. In case you guys don't know how to size your envelope, that's the size it comes in. we know that that card's not going to fit in there, right? Never going to happen. So the way that I do that, again, I'm just going to duplicate this panel here. There's no need, or you can get a fresh square, whatever you want to do. I'm going to get that square and duplicate it. And now I know that my card size is 4.25 and 5.5. Okay, that is my card size. That's the actual size. I need my envelope to be a little bit bigger than that, so it's okay. I don't need to change the size of that panel. I just going to use it to help me get my envelope sized. Let's bring both of these down. So when you're sizing your envelope, you're just going to leave it locked. Do not unlock it. If you unlock it, you're going to skew it. And I'm just going to stretch that out. I'm going to bring this panel in and see where it fits, giving it a little bit of extra room around that score line. You want to fit it into that score line, but you want to leave a little bit of extra space so that the card isn't too tight in the envelope. Which number again for the envelope, Dolores? M4, and remember guys, you have to use the hashtag. Hashtag M4 2CB3. So now that I know that panel will fit in there, I know my card will fit. Now I have to look at the size. And as long as it's within the 11.5 cutting range, I'm good to go, and this one is. If it's not, you may have to, it gets into a more detailed thing where you have to cut and trim or recreate your envelope. So this one works fine, so that's what I used, okay? So very easy to size your envelopes. And this one is just basically setting up your panel. This panel, guys, I have the regular 4.125 5375, giving it an 1/8 inch, just a barely white edge around the front of the card. The base is the same size. The sentiment is different. I use if you search Merry & Bright, you will see that one. But if you want that image number, if you're creating your own, it is hashtag MFB 878A. 878A. Do not unlock that envelope, Janet. Do not unlock it to size. If you unlock it to size, things may not work. Your panels, when you fold them in, may not meet in the middle, things like that. Weird things can happen when you unlock it. If it doesn't work for you and it's not the right size, it's probably better to choose another envelope or create your own. So that is the sentiment I used on that base. I used the same size panel as my gold panel over here, and then I made this panel just a little bit smaller because I wanted a big border. This is going to be a pattern paper back here, and so I wanted a lot more of that pattern to show rather than color. I want pattern. And then this panel is 2.875 by 4.125, and that size panel is going to give you an even area all the way around the card. Then I duplicated it and made it a 1/4 inch smaller. This piece is 2.625 by 3.875. This is the piece I did a pattern print and cut on. Okay, I did a pattern print and cut on that, and that's why if you're on mobile you can't open it, because I didn't save it before I did that. And the way that you do this, or you can cut it from a pattern paper if you're designing your own, or you can change it up, totally up to you. But to use patterns, guys, for print and cut, you're going to change it to a print and cut first of all. Then you're going to click the color block. You're going to come to the drop down and select pattern. Once your patterns load, you're going to select filter to get the one that I got. And I selected blue and white. And let's see if I can find it. Some patterns may be Cricut, some patterns may be uploaded here. So if you see patterns that are not yours or not in there in yours, it's because I uploaded them. So you can use just about any pattern that you want. Let's see. I don't know if I can even find that one again. To be honest, let's see if I take the white one out. Did I just do that in the blue? I did. No, that's not it. That's it, right there. So this is a Cricut pattern right here. You should have that. I just marked the blue to get to it, and then you can select it. Once you have it selected, it's going to bring it in on here, but we're going to edit that pattern. Let me pull this down so you guys can see it. Okay, so we're going to, you can see that I have a line running right down the middle. It's tiled. So I really need to do some edit on it. So I'm going to edit the pattern. And then we're going to come here, and I believe I set this at 91, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100. You can make it as big or as little as you want. But I made it right about 91, I think it was, when I did my print and cut. I just wanted it to look sort of like falling snow without being snowflakes. And then I used my vertical. I can see that line right there and moved it down, keeping an eye on the top to make sure that tiling wasn't going to appear, and it did. So if it does, we're just going to bump that up on the scale until it vanishes. And then I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to click off of it, and now I have my pattern piece to go right back here. All right, super easy to use patterns, very easy. And if you're doing a print and cut, which I am because I flattened this guy, he's a cut image, and I flattened him for print and cut because I didn't want to deal with all those little bitty pieces. So I flattened him for print and cut. This guy is, oh, that's my pine tree. I got my pine tree. We'll get to that in a minute. I did change that up. This is my snowy pine tree, and we'll just go ahead and do it. And I'm going to show you how different he looks. We're going to bring that in. It's really short and fat, even if I don't do anything. So when I've got all of my pieces, I'm going to show you guys how to make that. This is just a square with Happy Holidays on it, and that one, and this is a snowflake. It's the same snowflake. If you guys want that image, M42 D471BC. And then Happy Holidays. We'll just get this out of the way. Happy Holidays is MDD512ED. And you can size that up. I got it right at 2.319 by 5.2. So 0.5 by 225 will do. But this tree is kind of fat, and I didn't like the way it sat in there. So this is when your unlock comes into play, where you can skew that up, and I can stretch it and make it taller to fit in there like I want, and still not be too intrusive over my little penguin. So that is how I did my tree, and my tree ended up being, just so you guys know, 7.739 by 0.1903. So if you want to make yours the exact same size, it doesn't need to be. You can just make it the size that you want. And then these are going to be the pieces that we use to do our decor with. We're just going to be placing those snowflakes there. The snowbank. There are some in Designspace, but I really wasn't what I was looking for. So basically how I made this was 2 ovals. And I got that oval. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I got my oval, and I unlocked it. so that I could skew it up a little bit, and I rotated it, and I kept playing with it and trying to skew it to get the angle that I wanted for that base. Right there, you can see I wanted that curvature. So I did that, I duplicated it, and then I flipped it. And then I brought this one in and I rotated it and played with it some more. And let me unlock it. And just skewed it up until I could get kind of, I just wanted it to look right here like a rolling hill. And so it kind of looks really weird right now, right? But I did combine it and weld it. And from that, I took a square. You can take any one that's in your file and duplicate it. It doesn't matter. And oops. I hate when I do that. I'm way over there. I'm at 112 inches. I hit that scroll bar at the bottom. There we go. So I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller. It doesn't need to be that wide. I just brought it up right about the edge of this right here. Doesn't have to be exact. And then I duplicated it, and I brought this one, unlock it, make this one a little bit wider. I just want to come up to that edge right there on that one, and then I'm just going to unlock this one and stretch it. There we go. So that they kind of meet, and then I just welded it. Now that looks really weird, right? So remember I said the size of that square doesn't matter. I'm just going to change it back to a basic cut, just so that this doesn't turn into a print cut. And I aligned it over that area. Okay, so once you have your area and what you like, you can align it over there, and then I just sliced. Oops. And now I have my hill. Now this isn't exact because I didn't do it exact and play around with it, but you get how I did that, okay? Your hill may look different than mine if you're doing your own. But then I want this not to look like a shape, but I need that to have some kind of a line going in one direction or the other, just to give it a little bit of dimension. As you can see, it's going to make it look like another snow hill back here. So I got my shapes, and I went down to the bottom and got my open-ended circle. And then I changed it to a pen. I changed the color of the pen to, I think, a light blue or geo blue or whatever it is. And I unlocked it so it wouldn't be a circle, and I skewed it. Okay? That's what skewing does. It's going to unlock it for you. And then I rotated it into place. On this one, the way that it's shaped, I would probably go this direction. And then maybe stretch it out a little bit. It's okay if it hangs over a little bit. Your penguin's going to be there, so you can play with it, get it like you want it. Doesn't matter if it's overhanging. And that's going to give that little bit of dimension on that. So if I change that pen color to the blue, oops, I got off the extra fine. There we go. Gemstone blue, that's it. And then this piece is white. And that gives me a little snowbank. Now there are a few in Designspace. If you want to use theirs, you need to attach that. And you can certainly do that. But I kind of like making my own. So, because they're all different. Yay, welcome, Dawn. Does everybody follow me on how I made my snowbank? Last little bit, and then we're going to cut and assemble. The penguin, here he is. Let's get right here and go to image info. And this is the girl penguin, not for any other reason except I thought it was cute. It is MDCC D28. No, that's, let me start over. MDCC D2B2. B as in boy. And so I brought that in, and you can see that it looks very different, and it's very large because I'm zoomed, but it still comes in pretty large. It has a lot of little pieces here you can see in this layers panel, and I didn't want to have to deal with all of those. If you want to layer them up, you can do that. But I love using images like this for print and cut because I can make my own colors. And I'm just going to stretch this so you guys can see them. But you can see the difference where I chose my own colors to go in here to match up with my card. And that's what I did. Okay, you're simply going to select in the layers panel. I didn't want the really red cheeks. I wanted pink cheeks. So I came in and I got a pink and I changed that. And then I didn't want a red scarf. I wanted more of a teal. So I grabbed teal, and then the ends of the scarves were a different color teal, so I grabbed a little bit darker and changed that up a little bit just to give it some dimension and it wasn't running together. So once you've got all of that, I changed the color of the hat. You're simply going to go in and pick the colors that you want for those. I'll just do that dark blue so you can see. But once you've got everything like you want it, you can go in and have everything. I didn't ungroup a thing. I just did it from the layers panel rather than trying to click on it. Click on everything and then select flatten. And now it's going to print and cut that for you, and all you have to do is size it up. Okay? Yes, they're very cute penguins, and there are several of them, guys. So if you don't like the penguin that I picked, go in there and pick another one. It's a very, very easy to go in and select them. I just wanted to get my sizing back on that. So I'm going to get rid of this. Don't want to leave that in the file. And now we're going to cut. Because I have not cut this yet, I've only done my print and cut so I could pick my colors. Spam, please, somebody. Report. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the spammer. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up on chat. Let me check over here with you guys on Facebook. Is everybody okay over there? Yari is over there. Kathy, you moved over to YouTube. Okay. And myself, I'm there. Okay. So let's cut this. I'm going to hit make it, and I've already picked my papers. If you guys want to cut along with me, you can. Print and cut, super easy. I was able to get 3 on a card, so if you're wanting to make multiples, you can see that one of them popped down here. I'm just going to move him to this other mat for print and cut so I can do 1 page, and I just rotated him. Keep in mind, if you do this, you must print and cut immediately because you're probably not going to get him back in the exact same position in the exact same spot again. So once you print this, you need to cut it, okay? And then you're going to hit continue, and you can see that I can get several on a page, all of that. Now, I've already done that print and cut, and I will show it to you guys. But I'm not going to do it again. So I'm going to hide that from my mats. I'm going to hide selected because I don't need to print and cut it again. If anybody needs help with print and cut, please let us know. And so This page is going to have foil on it as well as pen. And here's the thing, you can do this all on one page or you can separate it. I'm just going to do it on one page. I generally don't like to foil while my mat is in the machine, but you cannot kick the mat out to do it. I'm going to show you guys how to foil. So I'm going to move all of my foiling down here together as close as I can get it. And I'm just going to bring this stuff up here. And that way I have this on the bottom half of the card. Now this piece, it says it won't fit, but it will. We're going to move that. We're going to bring it into this page. And we're going to pull it right in here. So that fits perfectly. So all of that is on one page. Envelopes, it's going to take a sheet. I'm doing 2 different colors, so it didn't matter. And a specialty, I'm doing a foiling piece there. I need a small piece for just a scrap for my tree, and then a panel there. That's going to be a pattern piece. And then my foiling on this red. So everything is ready to go, and I'm going to hit customize. And remember, I told you if you're looking at all of your mats, and you can see I'm on mat 9, so I'm going to hit continue. If you come up here and you're looking at mat 1 and you're loading up this mat, it's gray, guys. Make sure that you are loading the correct mat, because this is going to cut mat number 7, which used to be 9. We got rid of 2 mats. Okay, so I'm going to start, and we're going to let that foil, and then we're going to talk about picking papers. Let's go and select our cardstock, and it wants our black pen, which I'm going to be using my extra fine black pen. I don't know why it didn't change in the canvas, but I'm using the extra fine black. And my single scoring wheel, and then we're going to load the mat. Coming up are my gemstone pen, my red foil, my foil transfer tool, my medium tip, and my fine point blade. So we're all set for that. And because I'm foiling, I'm going to do more pressure. Don't really need it, but I am. I don't know if it makes a difference, but it's just what I do. Okay? So if you want to do that, you can. You don't have to. And I'm going to switch our view over to Designspace, and that's the project area. That's good, because I want to show you guys how I load my mat for this. Let's just do overhead so that you guys can get a good view. Here's my print and cut. When you do your print and cut, do not turn off the bleed. Do not turn off the bleed. A lot of people say, oh, it's blurry. Why is it blurry? I don't want it to be blurry. It's not going to be blurry. All it does is give you some edge, give some blur to the edge. If it's blurry in the middle, you haven't flattened properly. Okay? You have to select all and flatten it to something. It means that you haven't flattened properly. If you have writing on here and all your writing is blurry, it's not flattened to anything. It's attached, and you need to correct it. But do not turn off your bleed. The only time I turn off bleed is if I'm doing clear water slide material or clear sticker paper, or if I have a white edge, maybe I don't need bleed, but I just leave it on. It doesn't hurt anything for that. But if I'm doing water slides on clear materials, I turn the bleed off. That's the only time you really want to turn it off. Okay? And the reason for that, and I'm just going to show you guys really quick, is that gives me edge to edge color. You can see all of that color is left around the edge here. And then I don't have any white area around my little penguin guy. So that is the reason that you leave your bleed on. That way you have edge to edge color. Because if your print and cut is off just a little bit and you turn that bleed off, then you might have a white edge down one side and not on the other 3 sides. That's where that bleed is going to help you, okay? And I just want to remove these from the mat so I can work with 2 mats here. And like I said, I printed extra. I don't know. I might use them. I may not. I might use them on something else later. So I have my mat, and we're going to, I'm using my white paper for this. And you have a texture side and a smooth side. And generally I would put my texture side to the outside. But I'm foiling, I want to foil to the inside. Okay? So, therefore, you know what? I think I'm going to chance it because generally, I would cut this on 2 separate mats. Really. I would just do 2 separate mats because I would do my foiling on, I want the texture to show on the outside of my cards, on my bases, and on my sentiment pieces. So I'm gonna chance it with the texture side up. I don't generally have a problem, but if you've got a lot of texture, you can, okay? So we're going to load this mat. We're going to put the black pen into our machine. Hopefully you guys can see some of this. I'm going to switch over to the machine here in just a minute. All right, and we're going to put in our scoring wheel. I thought I put that out. There it is. I'm using the single scoring wheel. We're going to hold this in while we load our mat, let it take it. And it is telling me on Designspace, the black pen, single scoring wheel, we're good. Double check it, and we're going to hit the go button. And while that mat's going, my second mat is going to be my envelope for my penguin. So I'm going to load that up. That way I won't let my foil accidentally stick to my mat. You want to be very, very careful. Does anybody have any questions on Designspace? I'm going to go back to just the machine. There we go. So you guys can see it writing. Who is making with me today? You guys see my pretty cups? Sue made this for me. It's my turtles. I'm in Florida, so I love the turtles. You guys are quiet. Welcome, Dawn. Thank you for coming, a maker and a shaker. If you have any questions, let us know. We're happy to help. Isn't it, Louise? She did a great job on it. Love my cup. I can't tilt it because I don't want to spill. I love it. All right, so now you do not want to eject the mat at this point. As you can see right here, load my gemstone. So we're going to change that pen out, and we're going to put in the gemstone pen, which I forgot to pull out. I apologize. I'm just going to, that's peacock, that's not it. I'm going to use a whispering blue because I just forgot to get that pen out and get it ready. And if you have Cricut pens like I have Cricut pens, that could take a while. So now it's telling us to load our foil transfer tool. Do not eject your mat, guys. I can't stress that enough. And I say that because I've done it so many times. Do not eject your mat. Okay, and we're going to tape that foil down. So I'm using my medium tip, and we're going to put that into clamp B. So let's go back to the machine. So with that in there, got my foil tip, and let's see, 2 lines. Your tips have lines on them. Okay, one line is fine. See if I can get that to show. 1 line on there is fine, 3 is bold, and the 2 is medium. And to change them, you're just going to depress the top and change that out. So we're going to take our scoring tool out, and we're going to replace it with the foil. And I'm doing red foil on this. So with that in there, we are going to add some foil. And I'm just going to say, when you open up your foils, this is sticky. Okay? Personally, I like to kind of rip the package a little bit down the line and just fold it over out of the way. So my foil is not going to get stuck in that tape. Okay? I just fold it back. Stick it to itself, remove the sticky, whatever you need to do. Now my foiling, I got to go back and look at my mat because I forgot to look. I hope I get this in the right spot. I forgot to check. And it's not going to let me see my mat. There's my score. I think I'm just going to play it safe and put 2 pieces down. Because I forgot. Make sure you look at your mat and see where your foil needs to be. I don't believe this is going to be wide enough, so I'm going to do 2. And hopefully my tape won't hit them. It won't hit my tapes. I know that one will be fine. This is probably overkill, but it's what you got to do when you don't pay attention, like I did. So I'm just going to tape those down. And it's much easier if you don't have writing on the same mat, to tape them down while they're flat. And here goes nothing. I hope that doesn't get in the way of the sentiment. I'm just going to tape those 2 together slightly. Tape down that edge. And then we're going to tape down this edge. So now my foil is in there. When you print and cut, your paper comes out blank. Louise, me too. I dropped a whole 12 by 12 sheet on a mat. It slipped out of my hands and stuck to my mat. I didn't have any paper on the mat. So now we have that. Everything is set up, and we're going to hit the go button. And we're going to let that foil. Tina, that sounds more like a printer issue rather than a design space issue. Do you not get the black bounding box or anything around it as well? This black box here? As a matter of fact, I'm going to trim up I throw this part away and keep my scraps. You never know when you might need them for inking and things like that. Yeah, what? If you can't print and cut, anybody that cannot print and cut, if you're having an issue, if it's a design space issue, we can work with it. If it's your printer issue, you might need to go to your printer's manufacturing. But you can still do this card, but you will have to piece all of your, all of your little penguin pieces. And you can cut this piece from pattern paper. So you can still do the card. Tina, we might have to Zoom on that, or I might have to get you to call support. If everything is, like Louise said, if it's printing, everything else is printing outside of design space. Marianne, she says it's all printing outside design space, fine, but when she goes to print and cut from design space, it's not printing. Which I'm not understanding. Are you using the system dialog box, Tina? Once we finish this, I can go in and show you more of what I mean. Ooh, that was so close. That was so... Guys, you can't get any closer. I mean, it stopped right there at the edge of that tape. Thank you, Lord. He was with me on that one. So now, I just want to show you what it shows me on Design Space. Right here. Do not unload the mat. Important. Do not unload your mat. Okay? Even though it says that, I have still hit that button and unloaded my mat. Guys, do not unload your mat. I can't stress it enough. I've done it so many times. So what you want to do now is I'm just getting my tweezers and I'm going to come in here on the edge of those tapes and gently start removing my tape area. Just going to gently pull all of this back. Beautiful foil. Beautiful, beautiful. So far, everything looks great, even on the textured side. And again, I'm pulling this flat against itself. I'm a little bit off camera. I'm pulling this flat against itself, guys, and just gently peeling it back so that I don't tear my cardstock. And I'm just going to stick this up here because I may use it again for another project. So now that we have that done, we're going to take the foiling tool out and put in our blade. This is why you don't unload your mat, and then hit the go button. I should have put that on intricate. I forgot I had those small snowflakes. I used medium cardstock instead of intricate. Let's hope. I may have to recut some snowflakes. That was so close, Dolores. That was so close. I'm in Florida. I have a pest in here. A little gnat or something. I hope my snowflakes got okay. I forgot I had those tiny snowflakes. Yeah, you don't attach when you print and cut. The only thing that you would attach on print and cut is if I was printing this panel, And then I wanted to write on it because we cannot flatten writing. You cannot flatten writing anymore. We used to be able to. You cannot. If it's a basic cut font and then you flatten it, yes. But if you've got it set to pen, you cannot flatten it. So if I wanted to write this Happy Holidays onto this print and cut, I would have to do my print and cut, flatten it, then come back and put the pen on it and attach the pen. That's the only thing you attach to print and cut is pen, drawing. If you have something that's set on pen and drawing, you cannot flatten that. You have to change the pen to cut and then flatten it. All right, so let me go overhead so you guys can get a good look. Very pretty foiling, no problems, no issues on it. And I did do it on the texture side. It was the lesser of two evils. One card's going to get the textured and one side isn't. So I wanted my decorative pieces to have the texture, so I put my texture to the inside on my panels. Did I get lucky? Oh, I got so lucky on those snowflakes. Oh my goodness. Guys, look how tiny that is. It's the size of my thumbnail. Beautiful cut. Gently remove them. You don't want to tear them after you get a good cut like that. Just cut so well. And then you can see I had that line on my snowbank, so I got two lines because it cut right there in the middle, and I was fine with that. All right. Those little pieces off my mat. So the next mat is going to be our envelope. So we're going to need our scoring tool. Alright, and while that's cutting, I'm going to put my next one. This is for my other envelope. We're going to do that one. And I'm going to set that off to the side while that's... I'm going to put these in this tray so I don't lose them. All these small pieces. And we're going to go ahead and fold. There's our bone folder. And all I'm doing, you guys may or may not be able to see on this view, I'm just loading and unloading blades. We're just going to fold. If you guys don't have the scoring wheel, it will give you a much nicer score. So I have those two. Now I need to decide, and I need you guys to help me decide because I couldn't make up my mind. I think I have, but I don't know. For my background on my penguin, I really don't know which one of these papers I want to use. I really like that, but it's a little green, but it's okay because I have those colors in there, and it does work. So I have that one. Then I have this one. And then I have this one. I'm not crazy about that one. I think it's too busy. So I know that one's out. But I like this. And don't forget there's going to be a white panel separating. Let's see. How stinking cute is that? Can you see? I like that one. And I also like this one. Dots or snow? You guys decide. Dots or snow? And I'm not throwing out my papers, guys. I'm setting them to the side because these are large areas that you can get other stuff out of. I'll trim it up later. Just going to take my envelope off. I'm going to go ahead and load the other one. The snow one instead of the dots? Okay. Perfect. Because that answered 2 questions, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. This is my envelope. It's going to probably be darker to the inside that's going to go with that.